on today's training, we are going to be talking about opt-in list building and how to create squeeze pages, which is one of the most effective weapons in your marketing toolkit. So basically, we're going to be showing you live how you can actually build your list, how to set up a squeeze page. Everybody knows squeeze pages are important. We're going to touch on that briefly. Everybody knows the importance of building an opt-in list, but very few people are actually shown step by step how to do that. So that's what we're actually going to show you is from start to finish how to get a squeeze page live and on the internet. Squeeze page focus, it's basically for those that are unaware and brand new, it's a single web page with the sole purpose of capturing the name and address of a visitor to a page for follow-up marketing, meaning you want their name and email so that you can contact them in the future with, relevant affiliate offers, with your own offers that are relevant, your own products, maybe with joint venture opportunities related to your market, all sorts of opportunities, when you're building with the squeeze page. So a squeeze page is called that just because basically imagine it as being a page to squeeze information from. So this is a technical course. It's not a, how to have a perfect squeeze page type course. This is about how to set up a squeeze page and how to set up, a basic squeeze page that's going to get you results. So that's what we're going to be covering here, and want to make sure you understand this technical phrase when people talk about squeeze pages. Basically, will help you bridge the gap between a website visitor and another soon-to-be devoted reader or potential customer of your email marketing campaigns, and allows you to turn them into a good buying customer that will buy from you over and over again. So marketers have discovered that convincing a visitor to sign up for an email list provides an opportunity to present multiple sales messages over time, develop a relationship, and cross-sell other related products. So it's very important. In fact, this training alone, I'm just going to put this out here right now. If you can master setting up a squeeze page and building a list, you can build an entire internet business around a simple one-page website. I know a lot of marketers that do this. Lots of different people do this. It's a great way for you to get an internet business going. It helps you build a large, potential customer list and prospect list, and really be able to excel with your marketing online. So getting started, to get started with building an effective squeeze page, you're just going to need a domain name, which has been covered previously in this technical course. So we're going to assume you already know how to do that part of this. You're going to need a web host. Again, that was covered previously. That could be, anything like HostGator or Bluehost. As far as your domain goes, that could be something from GoDaddy.com. And you will need an autoresponder service of some kind. The most popular ones, as we've touched on before, in the basics to get started, was Aweber, which is by far the most popular, which is what's going to be represented here, and GetResponse. Aweber and GetResponse are two very large, companies that you can use to build your opt-in list. It basically gives you something to offer your visitor that solves identified problems. So you're going to basically need something that you can give to your potential visitors so they can get onto your list. So that's just something, from a perspective of a non-technical point of view, that's more of a marketing standpoint. But you need to be able to give people, whether it's a report maybe or it's a video, anything, if it's something that you have private label rights to and the right to give away, you can use that to solve a problem in your niche market. So, that's really what you need to get this ball rolling. Here's an idea of a squeeze page, template for you to look at. This one's very, very basic. Imagine, it's not going to have that black border around it. This is just, it's a picture with a border. But imagine right in here, your squeeze page. You got your eye-catching headline. You got your sub-headline there that kind of draws people in. Your headline and your sub-headline, you really want to, make sure it stands out and they're using good copy. So this basically is what a squeeze page is. It's a one-page simple website that gives people a reason to put in their name and email to find out or get something for free from you in return. That's really, in a nutshell, what it's about. The squeeze page, free offer process. It's basically, you get them to go to your squeeze page or your home page, for example. They go to an irresistible free taste, which could be, it could be a PDF report, it could be a video course, it could be, any number of things. It could be a 5-part email series that they get. It could be anything really. It's an irresistible free taste of what you can provide them, what kind of value you can bring to them. In turn, that builds up into a relationship because you're giving them and they're going to give you something in return. which again can eventually lead to a purchaser and then hopefully a loyal fan that will buy all the offers that you promote. And that's really the process here. Just you want it to go in this cycle. And there's marketers that have 200,000 different people on their list. There's some marketers that have 10,000, some that have 5,000, some 1,000, so you can have as many people as you want. And honestly, if you want to really grow your business, learn how to build squeeze pages, as we'll show you here in just a moment. Now this diagram looks like it has a lot on it, but it's actually, fairly simple. I'll try to lay it out here for you. You basically have multiple traffic sources, going to your squeeze page. You want to have videos, articles, social bookmarking. You could have traffic from joint venture partners, maybe after they opt in, they're hit with an offer that they're getting commissions on, things like that. You want to basically, get any traffic from any source, forums, um, email marketing, any way you can get traffic to your squeeze page, you want to do that. So basically, the traffic sends people to a squeeze page. They opt in, and you have two directions you can go. You could basically, take people after they opt in. You can just take them straight to a thank you page, saying thank you for signing up. Make sure you click on the confirmation email. Once they confirm, it takes them off to a confirmation page where they're hit with the follow-up email series. They're hit with the download link. That's one direction you can go. So you don't sell them on anything. Maybe you send them to a download page that has an offer on the download page. That may be below the actual free report or video that they download, but it's on the download page there. That's one way to do that. And then you send them an email later on to make money from them. Another way you can do it is you get them to your squeeze page. They opt in. After they opt in, they're hit with a one-time offer sales page or affiliate offer related to that market. But quite honestly, the best way to do this, if you're going to do the one-time offer route, is to get them to opt in, send them to a confirmation page, and once they confirm, then send them over to the one-time offer sales page or affiliate offer prior to getting, the item that they're out there trying to get. That's the best way to do it, and that's the method I'm going to show you how to set that one up step by step. And the reason that method's the best is because once they're confirmed, they're on your email list, so you can email them permanently. Yes, you end up losing a few that do not confirm, but quite honestly, if they're not willing to confirm, they're probably not willing to do business with you anyways. So you want to get them to confirm, because those are people you can actually email. Those are people that are serious about what you have to offer. So that's either option, where you send them straight to a thank you page to download, or send them straight over to a one-time offer and then on to the thank you page. We'll cover how to set those things up here in just a moment as well. There's 6 basic elements of a squeeze page. As you saw, you want a strong headline. You want an amazing hook that basically it grabs their attention to the point where they really want to jump in and they want to pick this up. They want to jump in and grab this offer right now. You want to have a very simple, clear design. As you saw there, it was just basic white background, black font, a red headline, and an opt-in box. You want to make it so easy so people aren't having to scroll all over the place to find the opt-in box. That will kill your opt-in rate. And that is part of a technical course here, honestly, because I want to make sure you understand what above the fold means, and things like that. I'm going to touch on that here as well as we go about setting up a squeeze page, because you want people, as soon as they land on that page, you want them to be able to read about the offer and opt in without having to scroll up or down or left or right. And also, we're going to talk, on that page, you want to give people a list of the most important benefits. If you don't have a list, your opt-ins rate's going to suffer, obviously, and so that traffic could be for nothing, because people really want to know what they're getting in return for putting in their name and email. Simple as that. You want to have a prominent opt-in form, as we mentioned. You don't want to make so it's set up so they have to scroll, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And then you want to have a very clear and strong call to action. It's so important with marketing online, whether it's technical or marketing or whatever. It's so important, whatever you're doing online, that you give people a reason to, you guide people and direct them on the path you want them to take. You guide them. If you want them to click on a link, in your blog, you tell them that. If you want them to opt into your list, you make sure they know that. Because if you tell people what to do, then more than likely more people will follow and take action on what's going on. Now here's a little bit about the headline. The true purpose of a headline, it's not to summarize or advertise the website. It really is to grab attention, and if it doesn't achieve this quickly, efficiently, and effectively, people will simply click away without giving much thought. And again, we'll show you the technical aspects of creating a headline. You know, what color font works best, things like that, how to set that up, how to size it so it looks, good, and so it stands out, because that's what a headline's about. You want to compel further reading. It needs to be compelling and benefit laden, meaning loaded with benefits for the person. Like they're gonna gain something that will help them. Whether it's to train their dog faster, or lose weight quicker, or generate an extra $500 within the next month, or whatever it is. It needs to create a burning curiosity for your visitor to want more, and to read more, which would in turn lead them to potentially opting into your list. Develop headline by using the most important benefits of the offer, not features. So we're not talking about, a feature. Basically is, this is a 37-page ebook. That would be like a feature. A benefit would be, hey, this 37-page ebook is going to teach you how to improve your golf game so that your boss, can't believe that you're that great and all this, and your boss sends you on all the big meetings. Who knows, whatever niche it is, golf niche, fitness niche, weight loss niche, dog niche, it could be anything. It must promise some kind of benefit or reward for the reader in trade for the valuable time it takes for them to read more. So you want to make sure people ask themselves, what's in it for me? That's what everybody's out there for. Your headline should accomplish that. The hook should be amazing. You can research exactly what your customer would want, and don't be afraid to sell the magic pill, so to speak, if you can deliver on your promise. If you can give them, information that need. If you have, access to a guide that teaches people how to, train their dog better, then go ahead and do that. A hook is a uniqueness of your offer. It's your slant, your uniqueness, and which no one else has. You want to try to portray that. Even if you can't have a completely unique angle, it's good that you portray, the amazing value of what's going on. So you want to make sure that people understand the importance, and it needs to arouse your audience's burning curiosity, which forces them to listen. A simple, clear design, which is comes into the technical aspect here. You want to create a simple, mostly white page with a tabled border, headline, a few bullet points, and an opt-in form. It's clear and concise, and it will have a very definite call to action. The key is to create a professional and visually appealing page. Keep from distracting. You want people to sign up, not be in awe of your graphics, and you can do testing on graphics. A lot of people, find that the plain white squeeze pages will convert better, and that's what we're going to touch on how to set those up. We're not going to use fancy graphics and banners, because the proven ones are always very basic, white background, clear, concise design. That is extremely professional. Privacy policy and contact information, those things are essential to have within your design. And again, we'll be showing you where to link those up, where to place those. Again, that helps build trust. People expect to see it. They want to know that you're not going to sell their information to marketing companies. They want to know that you're the only one that will market with that information. Make sure your links open up in a new window. That's very important as well. You want to make sure that these links open in a new window, and since obviously this is technical training, we're going to cover how to open those in a new window. Simply because you don't want people to click on the privacy policy and all of a sudden lose your squeeze page. You want to make sure it opens in a new window, so if they want to read about it or if they want to contact you, that opens in a new tab, and they can always get back to their squeeze page to take advantage of your offer. A bulleted list of main benefits. Basically, benefits are not the features or the results of features. Features are again like factual information, like 37-page guide, 27-minute video, things like that. Benefits let your visitors know that there is a solution to their problem, and these are basic things that you want to know. Just because squeeze pages are so important, which is why we're covering this, and right before we go into how to set these up from a technical point of view. Um, you know, I can help is a big thing. Remember those three simple words, because the phrase I can help is going to make a huge difference for you when it comes down to really getting out there and getting people to want to opt in and find more about you. You don't want to overdo this list. It can be a list, a list of 3 or 4 bullet points. It does not have to be huge. Keep it simple and use your main benefits. Really make sure you answer the question, what's in it for me? And give visitors a reason to subscribe. Why should they make room for you? Remember, your visitors, they haven't yet experienced the value you're delivering. So make sure that you're giving them good value as you go forward. The opt-in form, without that, it's not a squeeze page. If people don't have a way to take action, it's not going to be a squeeze page. It needs to be above the fold, put the form in a prominent location. I'll show you exactly what that means. Technically speaking, it just means when they land on the page, they should not have to scroll anywhere to look at your opt-in form. A long squeeze page, those can be used sometime, but you want to make sure that you give them multiple places to put in their name and email, and make sure one of those places, try to make sure one of those places is above the fold. So again, so then nobody has to scroll. You do not want people to have to scroll, but some people have long squeeze pages that almost look like a sales page. Keep it short and sweet. Ask for your visitor's first name and primary email. Only ask for information you need most, and we'll show you how to make sure you're only asking for what you need. If you ask for a phone number, your opt-in rates are going to drop drastically. So unless your business entails you having to contact clients a lot by phone, don't ask for it. Again, remember your competitors are only a click away. So if somebody else has an ebook course for free and only requires a first name and an email, you're going to get more, they're going to get all your business. So make sure that you ask for as little as possible. The final element obviously is the close or call to action. A step most often is missed. So tell the visitor exactly what action you want them to take. Make it very clear and concise. Keep the choices simple and either signing up or clicking away, but be very, very specific. Let them know that they don't have to put up with their problems another day because you can solve them right now. That's what's so important. Now, another form of squeeze pages that we're going to briefly touch on here is actually video squeeze pages. Technically, I mean, really what a video squeeze page is, it's basically everything that a regular squeeze page is. It just has video. I mean, I know that sounds simple, but that's literally, literally what it is. It's oftentimes going to have much less text on the page. So it may not even have bullet points. It may just be a video. It may be like a headline, a video, maybe, and you want it to be a short video. Um, you know, a short video, a headline, a short video, and then an opt-in form. And typically a video squeeze page will have the video on the left, the opt-in form on the right. It's just really, really simple. Video is far more effective than using just plain words on a squeeze page. It's compelling, it's new age, it's highly visual, it captures attention if you use a good video. Now, obviously, if you're starting out, you don't want to create videos. Later on in tech training, we're going to go over how to do, how to create videos, so that part will come in handy. But for now, if you've never created a video, just go with the standard squeeze page. Now here's a few resources that you will need in order to make this work. You're going to need a tool called Composer that we've touched on prior. In this course, we touched on this many times before. Composer spelled with a K, and that is found at composer.net. It's a free HTML editor that will enable you to create your squeeze page or use a template that's going to be provided with this training, and use the template to actually create your squeeze page. The resources needed, you have got FileZilla. It is an FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. FileZilla is basically allows you to get the squeeze page from your computer onto your hosting company so it can go live on the internet so that you can grow your business. We've touched on that tool before, but again, if you do not have it yet, just go to Google, type in FileZilla, or use that URL on the site on the page right now. And one of the other thing that you need is an autoresponder service. The example we're going to be showing you here is Aweber. It is by far the most popular, very recognizable, very simple to use. They're adding new tools all the time, so that's aweber.com. Aweber.com is one of the resources you need. You need FileZilla, which is free. You need Composer, which is free, and then you need Aweber, which you can get started with that for $1 in the first month, and then they'll bill you accordingly, starting below $20. It's very, very inexpensive to get going. So let's jump off here and get started creating your squeeze page. So this will take just a moment here. All right, so we're going to jump out here and actually go on over and do a search in Google for Composer, because that's the first step here. Obviously showed you the website you can get it at, but we have covered this before. Just going to touch on it briefly. You need Composer to make this work. Now if you have a Windows, it will say download Composer for Windows. If you have a Mac, it will say download Composer for Mac. So it'll work for either computer, works great on either machine. So you need Composer to make this work. Once you've downloaded Composer, you have it set up, ready to use, you just want to open it up in your, just open up Composer, just like you would, another program. And go ahead and go up here to Composer, and you want to click on Open. You want to click on Open open a local file. And for this, we actually are going to use a squeeze page template here that is proven to work. And again, if you're going through this, you should have access to this template as well. So we're just going to double click on this right here. And this basically, in a nutshell, it actually did not, none of the text has been removed yet on this. This is just a template so you can see where to plug in your information. So you see here, you've got your nice headline here. You've got a possible picture here. Right in here, you've got your, a little bit that describes the offer. You've got everything that you're looking for. And the beauty of Composer here, just like when we've done sales pages, just like when we've covered download pages and things of that nature, it's as simple as pointing and clicking your mouse and typing when you're using Composer. So if we are going to create your squeeze page, this is going to be your call to action. That's going to be your, not your call to action. That's going to be your headline. Now, right up here, you don't have to have this section, of your squeeze page. Obviously, we can take it out. Now, this is designing from a template, and then we'll show you in a little bit how to just kind of, we'll just kind of go from scratch, go with the very basic, blank version, and kind of fill in the blanks. But the most important thing is start with a template of some kind. And again, if you're going through this training, you'll have access to this template that you could be using. So you've got up here, this part actually does work. Now if you notice this yellow shadowing here, if you decide you want to add that to anything within Composer, all you have to do is highlight the text that you want to shadow. So let's just highlight that one, or we could highlight just the word download this free, for example, and come over here, and you'll see over here where it's got it's got these different color sections. You can come over here, choose highlight color for text, and simply select yellow, and then go ahead and hit OK. So you see how that highlighted that? So again, you just highlight this. Let's say we want to make it go back to white. I'm just going to click on that highlighter, click back on white, make it transparent again, and there it is. So you've got your awesome headline up here in red font. Now if for some reason you want to make your headline stand out, you can just simply highlight it. And it also has been proven to work to put your headline in quotes, which is why you're looking at quotation marks up there. You can take that out if you want. That's completely up to you. But we're just going to highlight this headline here. Let's say we want to make it bigger. Composer makes it extremely easy to make this larger. You're just simply going to double click on the A right here to make it stand out, make it larger. If that ends up being too large, you can basically come over here and hit it a couple more times to get it back down to size. Do you see how easy that was? Another way you can change the text size on the headline, go up here to format, go here to size, so format, size, and you're going to come right on over here and you can make it large if you want. Format, size, and let's just go here to extra large, and you can go in here and go to extra large. So there it is. That's where it was at before. Or again, obviously, if you need to make it bigger than extra large, you could actually just double click and make that come out as huge as you want. But that's what we've got here. You obviously want to stay away from having too large of a headline so it doesn't, because it may not look right. So those are some of the basics here. All I'm doing here is just pointing and clicking the mouse. So you're going to put in your information here. So free massive report. Free massive report. Or it doesn't even have to be massive. Free report. Free report, and then a benefit. So you could say free report saves you money if you wanted to, whatever you want to do here. So there it is. Again, we're just pointing and clicking our mouse. Now you see this was bolded and italicized. To do that, just simply highlight it, just like in Microsoft Word, and you're just going to click on the B to bold it and the I to make it italicized or not. So if you find text here that you want to italicize, make it slanted, you can simply do that. Just click on that. So that's the basics as far as editing the content within your squeeze page. That's really the basics here as far as editing what you're finding here with your squeeze page. Now what you've got here, you can come down here, you can change, any of these things. You can come on down here, if you decide you want to add a different column, you could just hit the tab key. All I did was I put my mouse over here and I hit the tab key, and that created a new box that I could type in. So my incredible headline, or excuse me, my incredible benefit here. And you can choose to make that bold or not by highlighting. And we're just doing some basic things here. So we're going to highlight this, and we'll make the benefit part bold. And let's say you wanted to use like check marks, or you wanted to use like an image. You can actually accomplish that by using check mark images. So if you already have them, let's say you're using this template for example, you can simply right click, choose copy, right click, copy, right click, and paste it right in there. Or if you want to get real fancy, I mean not real fancy, but another way you can insert an image is just go up here to image, image, or the phrase insert image. Either one of those will work. I'm going to go to image, and you want to click on this folder to start browsing on your computer. And there it is. And let's just look for this item here. So there it is right there. And as far as alternate text, just choose don't use alternate text and click OK. And now you see that image in there. If up here on this part of the template or this part of the squeeze page or anywhere else you decide you want to add a different image, obviously because it's going to be your own product, you might add in your own e-cover. You may want to come down here to the image and go ahead and add in a picture, for example. So if I were to come over here to the pictures folder, let's come in here and let's add a picture here of this individual. Don't use alternate text. And obviously we would need to resize that image quite a bit to make sure it fits correctly, with this offer. So there it is, there's that picture. And if it does not look right, you can resize it even more to make it look correct for you. And just like with sales pages last time, it's so important that if you're going to use an image, that you put it into your images folder. Now obviously if there's a picture you don't want to use, you can just right click and delete. I'm going to just choose insert image this time, and I'm going to grab an image from my computer to use here. And let's just go to the file where these files are located. Alright, there it is. Now let's just resize that quite a bit. And you can make it even smaller if you want to. So there it is. So now that's how you insert an image and add an image. Another thing, if you decide you want to change the color of any font, like let's say you're going from scratch and you want to create a headline like that, obviously you can come down here and we can pull this up. Let's say we want to make start cashing in today. Let's make this phrase. Let's say we want to make it our new headline. All I'm going to do here is highlight this, make it bold, obviously make it larger. You could give it some italics if you really want to make it stick out more. And then come down here to the color. It's going to be black. Choose color for text. So you can pick that. Or you go up here and go format font, or excuse me, format text color, and pick your color, whichever one that is you want to go with. And the best text color for headlines and such is going to be more of a maroon, not really a bright red, but more of a maroon, a darker red. You see it with all over, but something that's a little more appealing on the eyes, you can actually play around with that some. Now obviously if you want to undo any of these changes on your squeeze page, you can just hit the italicized here and make that go back to its normal size. And let's see here, we still got the red font here, so let's go back, the reddish color, and let's make that black. And I'm showing you these steps not to bore you, but so you understand the processes here of editing, your squeeze page or editing any kind of page, because really, this part is very important that this aspect here is set up correctly. Now with your squeeze page, you obviously need to have a download page for your offer, whatever it might be. You need to talk about your offer within your squeeze page and things like that. Um, so one other element within your squeeze page here, now that we're done playing around with formatting and things of that nature, is we want to talk about what's going to show up above the fold. So basically, what we want to see here, and I'm going to pull up a folder here. What we want to see here is basically when I pull this up into a web browser, as you see on my screen here, I want to see an opt-in form. That's what you want to see up there. You want to see, yes, they have to scroll on that page, but they still see their opt-in form. Now this one could be done slightly better, to the point where, this is moved up even more, so the free instant access shows up. You can play around with that, but basically, this is a good place to start. You want to be able to land on this page and see the call to action box or the opt-in area. That's why it's good to have like a two-column type squeeze page, so it gets the point across. You want to make sure the attention is drawn to the opt-in box. You don't want people to have to scroll too far to make things happen. So that's what was meant when we talked about above the fold a little while ago. So let's jump back on over here to Composer. And obviously, if you want to clear up some space or things like that, you can come on in here and you could hit the delete key and try to clear up the space a little bit. But now what we're going to do here is we want to add in the footer here. You want to add in your contact us and privacy policy, since those are so very important to this process. So what we're going to do here now is go ahead and set up our contact us and privacy policy. So you can start off by just typing out privacy policy. I just did a double space there, and then you can put in put in a dash, or you could even put in a hyphen, for example, or a straight line, which oftentimes is found on the / key on your keyboard, in case you're wondering, or the / key, and that's where that's located. So you can do a couple spaces there before and after. And now you need to link these pages up. So you've got your privacy policy here. You've set it up on your website, as we've shown you in prior trainings here. What you need to do now is put a direct link to that from your website. So Composer makes linking very, very easy. And again, this is one more of those elements that is very, very important here, to making this work. So what you want to do is come on in here, hit Insert, Link, Insert link. Notice that just went to, I highlighted the text I wanted to insert to link up, so privacy policy. Chose insert up here in the browser, chose link, and I put in the direct link. You can just type that in, HTTP, put in your domain. Okay. There's a privacy policy, and this is the part where we talked about targeting, so it opens in a new window. So it's going to ask you your link text, which obviously you highlighted, your link location, that's the URL or the web address for that direct page for your privacy policy, and then it's going to ask you, if the link is to be opened in a new window, if it's, in a parent frame set, in the same window. You definitely want to pick in a new window in all cases, as far as it comes to navigation at the bottom of a squeeze page, just because you want it to be set up so that people can open that up in a new browser if they desire to, just so that they're not taken away from what you have to offer. Another way to get your link is to highlight it and you can click link, or obviously you can do the insert function here. We're just going to use that shortcut here. So again, it's yourdomain.com / privacy policy, and then you're going to choose link is to be opened in a new window and go ahead and click on OK. So now you've got your privacy policy links, you've got your bullet points put in there, and let's see if we want to add in one more bullet point. Okay, so let's just add that in. Obviously, you can delete things very, very simple as well. You're going to see these little X's here. Those are basically for what's called a cell. Like if you're dealing with Microsoft Excel or anything like that, you know that when it creates tables or whatever for you to work in, it creates them in these tiny little, cells and things. So you notice by doing that, I just deleted, by clicking on the little X's, I was able to delete that part of that cell, so to speak. And after you've made your changes, you can come in here and just hit refresh. And if I click on this link, it should pop me open into a new browser. Obviously, since I used yourdomain.com, it's not going to go anywhere. But you'll notice it opens in a new tab. So that is set up correctly. Now, for all respects, this is a very well laid out squeeze page. It's very simple. It's set up. It's ready to get opt-ins, but it's missing one thing, and that is your opt-in code. And so I'm going to show you how to generate your opt-in code from start to finish. We're going to go over to Aweber now and pull up your opt-in code so it can be inserted in here so that you can now upload and now be in business, so you can start collecting names and email addresses. So let's go over here to Aweber. So just go to Aweber, www.aweber.com. And of course, you will need an account with them to do this process. So what you're going to do is just go over here to where it says sign in after you've created your WordPress account. If you are brand new, you could sign up for just $1 right over there. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and log in here to my Aweber account. Okay, so what we're going to do now that we're logged into our Aweber account is come over here to where it says create and manage list. So choose create and manage list, and you're going to select create a new list. So a new list has now been created, it's going to say. And you're going to put in your list name, which is for whatever offer you happen to be going after, whatever squeeze page you want to build. As you'll notice in this account that I just logged in, there is, about 25 to 30 different, squeeze pages and lists that are set up, and different forms and codes and different things like that. Aweber gives you that flexibility. Obviously, if you just start your account, you're going to need to, go up to where it says create and manage list and create your first list there. It's going to ask you for your list name. I recommend when it asks you for that information that you put in information related to your list, for related to that list you're promoting. So for example, or maybe the product they're buying if you're using a squeeze, a squeeze page for people that buy your program, just to get them on your buyers list. You want to put in, the name of, whatever it is. So you could call it, this is going to be just seen by you. It'll basically distinguish it from other lists. So it's good that you don't want to go with default, because it's going to be hard for you to remember what that's for. So let's say it's about dog training. So you could do dog train 123. Somebody might have that. So there you go, dog train 45. You could have a number there. You could say ebook, dog train ebook. Somebody might have that, so you maybe put a number on it. There we go. So I just went with, dog train ebook. From name, that would just be your name, obviously. And then you put in your address, support at yourdomain.com. And they are going to warn you too. Typically, you'll get a better response as far as a better open rate if you can use an email address from your web hosting company instead of using a Gmail account. And you can actually forward those on over, forward the emails from your regular account, like for example, support at yourdomain.com. You could forward those over to your Gmail, but that's a whole other technical lesson that will be covered later on. Now, the contact address, obviously you're going to change that to your physical address. Even if you work from home, it's very important that you do that. As far as company branding, you don't have to fill this part out. You can actually just keep that as is if you want. It is easy to do. So you could just do your business name or your personal name, whatever it is. and then put in your website again. If you happen to have a logo, you could put a direct link to your, image, for example. So in case you're wondering what that would look like, that's what it would end up looking like. It's going to have, /, which is going to, basically it's going to be your domain. It's going to call and pull up a certain file. That's really what that means. So you're just going to do /, whatever that is, .gif, .jpeg, whatever that might be. So next thing you're going to do now is, pick if you want this list set up for social media. You can go through that process. And then you can come all the way down to where it says go to step 2. Step 2, this part of the process is fairly easy. It's going to ask you your confirmation message. This will be the message that potential subscribers are going to get from you after they put in their information. You could do something as simple as confirm your subscription. Response required. That's always a good one. And if you want to create your own, you're going to have to wait for it to get approved. So if you're trying to get your page up quickly, just go with like response required or something like that. So now you can put in a short message here, to confirm you want the free ebook on how to train your dog more effectively. Make sure you click on the link below. So you want to give them a call to action to click on that link below within this page. And then you want to add in your custom closing, so that could be, sincerely. It could be regards, however you sign your messages. Now you want to come down here to the next step, next part of the process, which is going to ask you for the success page. Now your success page, when you're setting up any kind of list building, your success page is basically going to become your confirmation page. It's your page of confirmation that basically, after they have signed up, after they've clicked on the link to confirm and start getting your follow-up messages, you are actually going to, to basically have this link that they're going to go to. That link can serve two purposes, and we'll cover in another training how you can set it up as one-time offers. We've already covered it. This has actually been covered in a prior training on how to use this with download pages, for example. So this would be your download page link. So it's a link for them to download whatever free information they got, or it's going to be a link for a one-time offer. And so it's very important that you understand and distinguish between that. So let's just put in yourdomain.com / let's just say thankyou.html. So that means after they confirm, they're going to be taken to this thank you page, which is your domain and whatever that thank you page might be. That's the page where they download whatever it is they signed up for. That's a page that says, hey, thanks, I'm excited to send you the e-course, check your email, the first lesson's already on its way, or something like that. So that's how you set up and send people to your thank you pages or download pages after they buy or subscribe, excuse me. And it's also the best way for you to send people to a one-time offer. So how this would work, they click on the link. You've all seen this before. You sign up for a list, it's going to ask you, response required. It'll say to confirm. They click on this link. When they click on that link, this is the link they go to. So whether you want to make that a one-time offer, so it could be, it could send people directly on over to a page where, at the top of that page it says, hey, check your email for your download links. But hey, while you're here, check out this very special offer, whatever. And then right below that is a one-time offer that you can make money on. Or, another way to do that is send people straight over just to their thank you page. So they click on that link, they're taken right on over to a page that says, hey, make sure you sign up, or thank you for signing up. Here's your free report that you got. Maybe here's an extra bonus, or I'm looking forward to giving you more details. And on that thank you page, you could have an affiliate offer, a link to an affiliate offer, for example, as well. And then There's other ways to deliver the email through follow-up messages, but this is how you set up the success page. Otherwise, if you don't have it, it'll just go to a generic WordPress page. And that works to a point, but most of the time it's going to be good to have a page where that you control. You can give people what they got, which is a download, or you can give people, basically something else there. You can give people a one-time offer so you can make more money. So once you've filled in all these fields here in list settings and in confirmed opt-in, list settings is basically your information. You're just going to click on save list settings. This will take a moment here to save it. So now the settings have been successfully saved. So settings have been successfully saved. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to come over here and you want to set up your first follow-up message to send people to the free offer that they got on your list for, or you want to send people their first newsletter, whatever the case might be. In your first message, you want to give people what they got on, and I'm going to show you how to do that right next. Once that part is set up with your follow-up message, then you're in a position to where you can actually put your squeeze page on your site, because then once people opt in, the whole process is finished. And so it's best if you go in this order. I know it may seem kind of weird, but it's very good that you go in this order, because you need your list set up. Obviously, your customers need to know how to reply to email you. They need to know all these things, and that we set up under list settings. Plus, they also need to be able to get what they're signing up for, one way or the other. So you want to come up here to messages after you've been in my list and list settings. Just go up here to where it says messages and choose follow up. And you're going to come in here, click add new follow up message. Add new follow up message. What you're going to do here now is, put in a subject. So it's just going to say, thank you. It'll say something like that, thank you. Or your download is inside. Your free download is inside. Your free ebook is inside. Your free video course is inside. Something like that, dot, dot, dot. You can do it lowercase. And then you can come in here, type out your message. I highly recommend that you work from like a notepad file, for example, and then just copy and paste your message in there. This part here is HTML message. This one works to a point where if you want to tell how many people are opening it, you can use an HTML message. You can just type it in. If you want like the maximum deliverability, make sure that you put the same message into HTML message and plain text message. And in the plain text message, you just want to make your links a pure link. You don't need to link them up. You don't need to use like it's Compose or anything like that. But this first message just needs to say, hello, and you need to be able to put in, their name and things of that nature. So we're just going to put that in here. We'll go ahead with, hello, and let's just plug that in. So hello, and then type in, thank you for signing up for the free ebook. I'm excited to train you. And then your download link is below. And then you can take them over to your domain. Your download page. Okay, so there you have it. That's just a basic follow-up. All I did with that was just type it in. I did that because I wanted to show you how simple it is. There's no rocket science involved. If you want to change the font, just go up here to where it says font, choose your font, and then pick which size you want it to be. Very self-explanatory. And then you come here and just click on, like a PS, hey, if you really want to train your dog better, check this offer out. And that will take them maybe to like a squeeze, or to another offer, something like that. Maybe another affiliate offer. It might take them to your offer if you've created a course on it, things of that nature. And then you can put, a link right on in there. So we'll just make that font. Now, for some reason, you want to come in here, you want to link this up. So if you want to train your dog better, check this off route. Let's say you want to make that linked up. You can make it bold so it stands out more, or unbold it. And come down here and then just simply click on this link here, which is very similar to what you find within Composer. And you're just going to put in, your affiliate offer. And then go ahead and choose Insert. And you'll see how that shows up. Now, one thing you need to do though is you can copy that by hitting Control C or right clicking and copy. And we want to paste this in here in the plain text area. Once you copy and paste in the plain text area, it is going to look funky, so you just want to click on wrap long lines so that it does not overextend the recommended width. And instead of it allowing you to link up the phrase in a plain text message, you just need to also provide the link as well, so youraffiliateoffer.com. So right there, you just need to put in a direct link, but it's highly recommended that you use both the plain text and the HTML message when you're doing follow-ups or anything really, because it's going to encourage, you can track opens, plus you get the benefit of, hey, if they won't accept HTML messages, you can send them a plain text message. Now, a few little minor features of Aweber that I feel are very important is the personalized features. These options right here basically will let you personalize it to your audience, which will enable you, for them to like and trust you a little bit more. It gives that personal relationship, which in turn, can lead to a loyal customer. So you want to come up here and just wherever you want to insert their first name, just go here to where it says personalize, and you want to look for first name fix. First name fix. And what first name fix does, it would say, hello John, hello Sally, whatever name they put in on their form, it's going to grab their first name. And the cool thing about the fix is it'll fix things like if Sally, for example, put in her name with a lowercase or things of that nature, it would actually uppercase her name so it's more proper and it makes you look more professional, because you can't control everything that goes in on those things. That's why first name fix is there, and that's why it's so effective. So you can do your greeting, hello, first name fix. You could not use it at the beginning, but go over here, thank you. You could just do something very powerful. Thank you, so and so, and username right in the email. That right there is going to make it look even more, formal if you can leave it in the message here. So just choose where you want to put it, and then drag down. So thank you, and then thank you, John, or thank you, Sally. Thank you, Sally, for signing up for the free ebook. I'm excited to train you. Your download link is below. I will be in touch. Take care, and then you can put in your name. Would go in right there. Again, you can do the same thing for the plain text message. So we'll just put it right here. Thank you. Personalize first name fix, and you can just click that in there. And then the important thing too here is that everything formats and looks like it's in good shape. And you can also do more personalization touches. First name fix is the most common, but you could do, like put in their email. Hey, I'm glad you put in your name, your email or whatever to grab their attention. You could do things like put in their first name, put in their last name, do their full name. You could actually put in there, the sign up date if you wanted to. That would basically, tell them, hey, when you signed up on this day, this is what you want, and that makes people think, wow, you keep great records. You could give people their city, for example, because it will track their IP address that they signed up. So it'd say, hello Sally, thank you for signing up for this free ebook. I hope things are going great out in Chicago right now. And you can do that by just inserting this geolocation, for example. And that can actually really increase the personalization and the effectiveness of your list. So that's one of those technical things not a lot of people are aware of. That's back here within Aweber. Now it's going to ask you to send your number one sent immediately, and it will ask you if you want to track clicks. You can keep that one on or off, and go ahead and just click Save Message. Now in this case it's saying invalid links, and if you get that error, what that tells you is that, hey, we've tried to go online with that link and that link's not working, which obviously in this case these links are pretend links to show you how this is going to work. So if you get that error, go check out that link. If the link is still working for you and for whatever reason they're saying it's invalid, just choose ignore invalid links and save message, and then it will send it anyways. But in most cases, you're never going to run into this issue. In this case, I'm just using an example link. So we're going to come over here and click on Save Message. And now your first follow-up message is in place. So you're really in a good spot here, to where people can download their free video course or their free ebook. You'll notice my subject said free video course, my email said free ebook. You want to make sure that things are going to gel together. So if you find an error like that, you can easily fix it by just clicking on the link. So thank you, your free ebook training is inside, or your free ebook is inside. Your free dog training ebook, you can even do that depending on the niche. And then after you make any change, you can just come all the way over here and just simply click on Save Message. So now the next thing I wanted to show you here is if you want to add a second follow-up message. Like let's say you want to set a follow-up message that goes out the day after they sign up, that tells them, expresses your thanks for signing up, and also encourages them to make sure they check out the free report. But more importantly, it's set up to, maybe give them more content so you can start building that relationship, or give them information that they are really seeking. So go ahead and choose Add New Follow-up. And you can just put in your subject line, whatever you want it to say, and then just type in your message, hello, and then just put in personalize, first name fix, thank you for signing up, and then your text here, whatever that might be, and then your name. And then obviously you want to just copy and paste this on over here to the text part. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to do is choose the interval. So it's going to ask you several intervals. It'll say number 2 will be sent 4 days after the previous. So after that first message was sent, this would go out 4 days. Well, if you want us to go out the next day, you can just go ahead and choose 1 day after the previous message, and then simply click on Save Your Message. And then we'll set up one more autoresponder here, and this is going to go out on day 3, for example, because you really want to deliver them good content right from the get-go. Just choose Add New Follow-up and put in day 3. Day 3 text would go here. Very, very simple. I recommend, again, you type this into a notepad file, copy and paste it over. Whatever you want to put here, your name, then you can copy it over to the plain text area. And again, this is going to be a very similar process when you go about sending a broadcast. And then this will send it out 1 day after the previous message, which would be day 2. So now you're going to see here all these intervals here based on days. So you're going to see, this one's going to go out on the first day right away. This one's going to go out on day 2. This one's going to go out on day 3 within the interval. So once you've got your follow-up sequence in place, or at least your first follow-up, so they get their download in their email as well, that's going to save you a lot of headaches too, because you want to give your customers an easy way to get their download right after they get it by confirming. Or if you send them to a one-time offer, you want to make sure if they hit no thank you on that page, it still takes them over to download. Plus, a follow-up email does wonders because it sends them straight over to the download page as well. So if they get lost in the one-time offer, they'll still find your email and all will be good, because they're going to have access to it still. So that right there is how follow-up messages are set up. So you've got your list set up with list settings. You've got everything set up ready to go. You've got your squeeze page ready to rock and roll. Now you need to grab and create your web form. This part is where it gets interesting. So you want to simply go to web forms and choose create web form. Create web form. And this is going to load up here. And what you're going to go ahead and do here is come on in here and we're going to create a very basic web form here. So let's just come on in here and you can load various templates. You'll see new templates, popular ones, that's what we'll go with here. Popular templates. You can go with a basic one. You can go with a flashy one, with a pointer on it. Like let's go ahead and go with that one for now. So we're just going to grab that one and you want to choose load template. So click the one you want to do and then choose load template. You'll see arrows going there. And the next thing you want to do, it'll say powered by, Aweber. You can, if you want to delete that so it doesn't send them traffic away, you can actually just highlight an area, click on that X, and that will clean it up for you. So simply go to save web form after you've selected which form you're going to do, because we still have to do some work on it. And you're going to go over here to where it says go to step 2. Now your form name, this is just going to be seen by you, so you can put in, and it's smart if you put in multiple form names, so you can test results and test, what your opt-in rates are or different things, of that nature. So what we're going to do here is put in, dog training right here, and we're going to choose a thank you page. Now, as we covered in a previous topic, you could actually set, you can use their basic thank you page. You could use an audio page where they actually send you to a page and it's a voice, it's a voiceover of some person saying, hey, make sure you check your email. You could send them a video. They call it a smart video because it actually shows their name, in the video. It's kind of cool the way it's set up. And these three things are all done by Aweber. Staying on the current page, that's not as recommended because it doesn't give people that next step. It just would redirect them back to the page. That works, staying on the current page works good if you're getting people to opt in, and you want them to stay on a sales letter. That works good right there. But custom page, this is a great option if you have your own page that kind of acts like a thank you page or a confirm page or something, that tries to encourage people to confirm, So you'll go yourdomain.com / ty sign up, thank you sign up or something like that. So that's your thank you. It's just a very basic page. It says, hey, thank you, make sure you check your email. This is what you have in store. Or alternatively, you can pick if you want a smart video version. But that is what the thank you page option is there for. We're just going to go, for now, we're going to choose their smart video option. In already subscribed page, you can typically just go with the basic version. That's going to be just fine. But same story there. You could actually create a custom page. So if for some reason somebody comes across your site and they've already been on that list and they decide to opt in again for whatever reason, maybe they lost a download or whatever the case might be, it won't let them, get back on that list. So it's going to send them to a default page that says, hey, you need to check this out. So technically, you really don't need to worry too much about the already subscribed page right there. But you could monetize that already subscribed page by sending them to a page that talks about it. Hey, you're already on the list. Thanks for being on the list. If you need anything, let me know. But while you're here, I know you're interested in dog training, so why don't you check out this awesome offer that I have, or whatever it is. So you could make money on the back end doing that. But for now, we'll keep that as a basic, and we're going to go to step 3. So now it's going to say you must save the form before it can be published. And that's what we're going to do, publish the form. Now this part is where the rubber meets the road and you get this live and into your website. You want to choose I will install my form, and it's going to give you two options. You're going to have a raw HTML version or a JavaScript snippet. I'll tell you and be 100% honest, the best way to make this work, the most efficient way, is most cases is going to just be using this JavaScript snippet. Your life will be so much easier if you just go with the JavaScript snippet. The raw HTML, as you can see, is loaded with content, and it has got so much information in there. So typically, the best thing you can do is just go with the JavaScript snippet, highlight that, right click and copy. I just highlighted it by clicking my mouse, double click, right click, copy. Now we're ready to paste this content into our Aweber, into our site here so that it will show up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So you want to come over here to where it says source code at the bottom of Composer. Source code, which is going to show up at the bottom of Composer. Now, what you want to look for back here is you're going to look for in a template such as this, you want to look for something that says Aweber or anything like that. Now, if you did not have a template, as I'll show you how to set up a very basic squeeze page here in a moment, and then how to add video to it, we're gonna cover that part briefly. Basically, what's going to happen here, you basically would just insert this code wherever you wanted to insert it. So you could come up here and say, okay, I want to put it here. So you're just going to find a spot where you want to put it, go to source code, and then do the find feature, and just put in, whatever the phrase is that's right before where you want to put it. So there's PLR content, that's the phrase. So let's go to edit, let's go to find and replace, and let's go and type in PLR content. Let's see. Okay, there it is. And so then let's say you want to come in here and you could actually just paste in that code right there. And you'll come in here and there it is. It's going to show up on that page. But obviously we don't want to do that. So let's just go back here and undo what we just did. So we'll go to find and we're going to search backwards or forwards. And there it is again. So there it is. We just want to take out this little code here that we inserted. And what we're going to do here is do the find feature. And if you're using a template like this one here, it's already going to have Aweber in there. So let's just do a search for the phrase Aweber and see what we can find. So there it is. There's a phrase Aweber. We see everything right there. So here it is. So form method post. So we're just going to delete out this part of Aweber here. It's going to say, form method post, and we're just going to insert our Aweber code right on in here. So you want to scroll all the way down here to where it's going to say, and this is done with HTML. You see how long the HTML code is. So you want to scroll down here to where it says, to where the word form actually ends up ending. So you'll see a form and it's going to have a / before it. You'll see that right there. And all this code can just easily be replaced by just hitting Control V, and it will actually be replaced with this script right here. So there's that script. Now let's just come over here and hit save. And what we want to do here is actually pull that up and take a look at it to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go back to this page here and let's just go ahead and refresh it. So there it is. You'll see that. See how that looks now. Notice how that fit right in there nicely. All we did was copied and pasted that in there. We could put in our name and email, yourdomain.com, and then just choose sign up now, and it's going to take them to the generic video right here. You see it right there. Notice it put your name up there, so whatever name you put up there, it would have that in there, whatever the case might be. And it's smart video basically is just showing them hey, your name's going to go up there, and it'll give you an idea what email address it's going to come from, so people know what to look for. So email at your email, that's just going to be obviously your subscriber's email to test this out. And if that was a real email address, you would already get a confirmation message. So at least you know that that's in there and that is working okay for you. Now there are a couple options here too, real quick. If you decide you want to go with a different form, we can go back over here to Aweber, and we can come over here to where it says design, and you can pick a more basic design if you want to go with that. So just go with the basic option, highlight it, choose load template, and you'll see this one's much smaller. So you can, and the cool thing here is you can edit like the text that shows up on this form. Some forms will let you do it, some won't. So if it will let you, you can actually click on edit and change that, so you could say free instant access, because sometimes it's better to say free instant access than submit or something of that nature. So you now want to go to step 2, and you could call this, let's say, dog training 2. That's the name of this form. So we're testing out which one might convert better. So we'll go to step 2, and we're going to save this form under a different name now. Choose I will install my form. We're going to choose the JavaScript because that's still much easier to work with. Right click, copy, and once you've already got it in here, it's going to be really easy to find it. And one thing to keep in mind, even though this is a what you see is what you get editor, meaning what I see here, what I change in here is what more than likely is going to show up online, you're going to still see when you're dealing with JavaScript, it's going to say the word script right here. So that's what that means. That's why you need to, open it up in your web browser. You don't have to upload it to the internet yet, but you can just open it up in your web browser, and then you can see how it's going to look in your web browser, because the JavaScript will work within the browsers. So we're just going to go here to source code and edit, find, and let's just type in the word Aweber here, and that's going to direct us right to where this JavaScript is. We're just going to highlight this code, hit Control V to paste it in there, and go ahead and choose normal right here, and you can see that that code is showing up in there, and then go ahead and hit save. Let's go back here to our browser and take a quick look at that, and you should see quite a change right here. You'll see that this changed quite a bit. And if for some reason you think that's not big enough, obviously you can go back down here to Aweber and do some fixing of that form by coming on in here and actually resizing it slightly. So you can actually resize and make it larger, so it's going to so that people can put in more information, and just click on Save Web Form. And then you'll notice here, by just doing that, I just refreshed in here. I made that larger. I didn't even have to reinsert the code. I just refreshed it, and it actually, resized this box so that it looks a little more formal for me. So you can just basically play around and put in, the code where you want it there. So now that we've got this, basic, this is a template that you can use. You can use over and over yourself for whatever market you've got. This template's going to be yours. What we've actually got here next is we're going to show you how to set up, a very basic video type squeeze page. For example, if you wanted to add video into your squeeze page. And later on in this training, we're going to cover how to set up one-time offers from start to finish, since that's such an important process here. But again, it's very simple when it comes to utilizing Aweber. It's very simple to set up, one-time offers and things of that nature. So what I'm going to do now is go right on over here to Composer, and we're going to start from scratch here. We're just going to go up here to where it says New, and we're going to center this. We're starting very raw, straight from scratch here. So we're just going to center this. I'm going to put in some quick information here. So let's just go ahead and put in a headline. So let's put your awesome headline here. And let's type in watch this video now. Watch this video to train your dog faster, whatever the niche market is. And keep going here. And then we've got a spot here where we can actually insert a video. So before we do that, let's say we want to clean this up a little bit. So I want to come in here to format this font. I'm just going to go to Format, and we're going to go with Arial, and we're going to make that bold. Let's make it larger, make it red. Your awesome headline here. Let's make that one maybe we could underline this this text here, and let's make it slightly bigger. Let's go with the same font here so it looks uniform. And let's go ahead and make that yellow highlights, for example. Okay, watch this video to train your dog faster. Now we've got a very basic video squeeze page here. What I'm going to do now in this method is just going to show you how to use the most basic of video squeeze pages, which is to go out and actually use YouTube. So we're actually going to open up a new tab here, and I'm going to go over to youtube.com. Let's say that you've created a video. As again, later on in the tech course, we'll cover how to create videos. But let's say you've created a video. Obviously, you could ignore this if you're brand new. If you're just going to have a basic squeeze page, that's perfect. If you decide you want to go with the video, this is the process to make that happen. So if you've created a video, you've uploaded it to YouTube. So let's just pull down any video here related to dog training for this particular example. So let's come here. Dog training, solve your dog's jumping problem. Let's just go ahead and use that. Or we could use these cute dogs here. Alright, so this video will load up here. Take just a moment. We're just going to pause that for the moment while the video loads. And what we're going to do here is on the video, you want to come on down here. You want to come on down here to where it says, there it goes, down here to where it says get video embed code. So you're just going to click on embed, and it's going to be below the video. This works with any video. So obviously you would want to look for your video by doing a search in Google for your YouTube user, or excuse me, a search in YouTube for your YouTube username, for example. So let's just copy as usual, come over here to Composer, and I'm going to go to source code here. And because we want to center the video, I'm going to show you how to make a centering code, which is very simple to do. You simply want to hit the shift key, and you're going to want to make one of these little carrots that you see here to the left, or arrows to the left. That key is found typically next to the letter M on your keyboard. It might be slightly different on international keyboards and things like that, but it's basically, it's going to be point to the left, a less than or greater than type symbol is what it's called. You want to put in the word center, and then you want to do another little arrow to the right. Then you're going to actually copy and paste in this code by hitting Control V. After you've pasted that in there, you're just going to do another caret to the left, as you see there. This time you're going to do a backslash, which is typically next to the shift key, the right shift key. You're going to do a backslash or forward slash, or a backslash in this case, and you're going to write the word center again and do another little caret slash triangle thing to the right. Once you've done that, you're going to notice that your video right here is probably going to display. So once you do that, you're going to hit save, and we're going to just call this video squeeze page. It's going to ask you for a title. That's obviously your chance to put in a keyword rich title related to what it is you have to offer. So let's just call this video squeeze, and let's just go save, and let's open up here our browser. Okay, so it's going to take a moment for the video to load up from YouTube. So there you see it there. There it is showing up there. So you've got your nice video here showing up. You've got your basic squeeze page. You've got your video that's displaying, that's going to play in here. Keep in mind though that when you're doing a video squeeze page, you want your video to be between, very short and sweet. 30 seconds to 2 minutes is going to be great. If you get, I've seen some at 5 minutes, that's fine too. But you just want to keep it short and sweet. You want to keep it short enough to be interesting, and long enough obviously to cover what you need to cover. That's the most important thing. So actually one other thing too, When you are actually going to embed your video, you want to make sure that you uncheck this option too that says include related videos, because that's going to pull in at the end of the video some related videos related to that market. So if you are doing a video squeeze page after this video is done playing, all of a sudden it would pull in videos related to your particular offer, for example. And so what you want to do is make sure that does not happen. So you want to include, related videos and things like that. So very simple though. It's just highlighting that, copying that code, putting it in here, and then playing it, within your browser and seeing if it plays correctly. And then there's your little call to action. You can do a little point down. Hey, make sure you sign up for your list. And this is your chance to come on over here to Aweber here and put in a nice little list. Let's go here to popular themes. Back here, let's just find one right here. Let's see, my templates. You can go to new templates if you wanted. And let's just find a basic one that we're going to use. So we're just going to pull down a basic one here. And obviously you can change that, however you want. You could take out this header here, or you could edit the header. If you decide, hey, I kind of, I don't really like that image very much, or I want to write something else in here, download now, or improve your life, improve your dog training, train your dog fast, some short call to action. You could center that text here. It gets you a lot of flexibility here when you're playing around with these tools. So the key thing is when you get Aweber, spend some time playing with these tools, and you'll get people to you can figure out what kind of tools are there and features and things like that. And if you decide you want to get rid of that footer just because it may take up too much room, you can do that. Since you maybe already have a privacy policy, you could remove that one. I typically like to keep that one as well. It just kind of helps with the security. And we're going to go to step 2 here. And this time we're going to call this, dog training, and we'll call this video squeeze 1. Or just call it video 1 so you know which one it is. And now you're going to go here to step 3 and just click on save. And we're almost done here. It's very, very close to the finish here. Going to choose JavaScript. Highlight that, copy it, and we're going to open up the source code. And this time, since there's nothing already there, I'll show you where you want to put it. You just want to put it, right below that video that you have playing there. So in order to do it so it's not directly below, you want to do like at least one space. And you can accomplish a space by doing an arrow to the left. You're going to sense a pattern here. All these codes have these little arrows to the left. You want to do a little arrow to the left, write the word BR, and an arrow to the right. And then you just want to paste in your code. And it's also recommended, so that your squeeze page comes in a line, that you actually center it as well, just like you did previously by doing an arrow to the left, the word center, arrow to the right, arrow to the left, at the end of it a /, the word center, and an arrow to the right to close it out. Now you're going to choose normal view. You'll see the script is showing up right there. Let's just save that. Open up our browser here. Hit save. And you'll see here, there's the squeeze page. And, you might want to play around too with, the actual, the size of the video as well. Before you get it loaded up there and things like that. You can actually come on in here and make the video actually display even smaller if you want to. So you can pick the size, and so you can come down here. Let's just make it even smaller. You could do a custom width if you wanted to. So let's say that you wanted to make it even smaller. Like let's say you want to go 450 by 278 to make sure that it was going to be above the fold all the time. Or let's even say 330. There it is. So let's go 330. Now let's just copy this right here. And that's all found in the embed section. I can come right back here to the source code, right back here to this YouTube part. And let's just paste this in. Hit save. And we'll see that it's probably going to display for us a much smaller video for us to play with. And there it is. There's a much smaller video, which basically enables us to see the video, but also enables people to see your squeeze page as well. Now, this might be an extreme case of going a little bit too small. So obviously you can play around with that a little bit more. You know, like we could bump this up to 400 on the video squeeze page, come down here, and then obviously copy this again, highlight it, right click, copy, and I'm just trying to be repetitious here so you understand the process here and how very basic this really is. So we're just going to paste this on in here and save that, and then we'll just refresh that and see if that is the size that that we think is going to look best. So there you go. That one comes out a lot cleaner. You've got your headline, encourages people to watch the video. It's got that yellow, slash there. They've got their video, and then boom, right there is, their squeeze page. The name and email parts above the fold. That's very basic, plain video squeeze page, but that's how you can do a very simple video squeeze page from start to finish. Now, the only other step, the very final step of this process, is obviously it's time to upload this to the internet. So we are going to go ahead and open up FileZilla. We've actually covered FileZilla on previous training, so I'm going to go over this one fairly briefly. But FileZilla is that free FTP program which basically enables you to transfer the files that we just made here, the squeeze page files we just edited and worked on from scratch, from our computer or your computer up to the internet. Makes it very simple to do that. So what we're going to do now is come on up here and go ahead and choose host. So you open up FileZilla. It's a free software. You can go to Google and check it out, and go ahead and choose. Go ahead up here and go ahead and choose Site Manager. File. You can choose Site Manager, and right here you can actually choose New Site, and call it your site, yourdomain.com, wherever you're hosted at. Come in here to where it says host. That's going to be your domain. So it's typically going to be like yourdomain.com. Logon type would be set up as normal. The username is going to be the username that your web hosting company provided you, whether it's HostGator, Bluehost, if you decided to host with GoDaddy. They will help you get this information if you cannot find it. So it's going to be your ID. Password obviously is your password. And then you're simply going to click on OK. So the next time you open up FileZilla, it's really simple because you only have to input this information once. You're just going to come right up here to the left corner and choose your domain name, and it's going to automatically connect for you. Left hand side are the files on your computer. Right hand side are files on your web host. So we're just going to go here, choose public HTML. And what we're going to do next is inside public HTML is our main domain. So let's say we want to upload these squeeze pages here. Now right now there's a WordPress blog set up on this so I'm going to create a directory for my squeeze pages. So we're just going to call it squeeze page, or you could call it like a directory that some people do. They'll call it free, for example. So I just right click in there and I choose create directory, and I name it whatever I want to name it here. So let's just do that. Next thing we're going to do is open it up here. We're going to choose Documents and Settings and look for, actually go through here and look for our files here. So let's find that. Left hand side again is our computer. And we're going to choose Squeeze Page. We're working right in here. And this is where it gets really simple. You just simply highlight this, right click, and upload. We're just going to upload all that content in there, and that'll take just a little bit to upload. You see the progress here, but now we're going to be able to go to our browser, type in this URL of this course, and we're actually going to see this live and on the internet now, because right now it was actually displaying within our local computer. You have to upload it for it to be on the internet for people to access. So we're going to go there now and make sure it loaded up correctly. There it is. You'll notice, since that code was changed there, it changed on that page as well. So there it is. So there's your awesome headline. Now you can test out your video squeeze page if you want to, which was just called video squeeze if I recall, videosqueeze.html. And there it is. There's the video squeeze page right there. If you wait a moment, the video will probably start to play. So there it is for you. There is, how you do your squeeze pages from start to finish. So that's all we have for today's training.